Thank you, everybody. I'm delighted to be here. I do hope the students outside have written this week's essay, but as many of you probably know, on the 29th of February, exactly 50 years since the first Women's Liberation Conference was held in the UK, I was platformed at an event in Oxford, not organised by the university, I should say, that was supposed to commemorate this historic occasion. And I was platformed because I believe that women are a sex and because of my unqualified support for Women's Place UK. Hey. I was platformed at just a few hours' notice, which is a common tactic that's meant to divide and to weaken us. It didn't work. Some incredible people mobilised and got me through, including many feminists here tonight. Thank you all. And also the head of my history faculty at Oxford, who was due to speak alongside me. He's just a nice guy who would like to be quietly writing books about medieval history in private. And instead, for the last 18 months, he's constantly having to come to my defence as I'm slurred and smeared in the media. He had just a couple of hours to decide how to respond on his own, and he decided that he would decline to appear at the event and instead issued a statement which read in part, "As an academic department, we simply cannot condone the no platforming of people who hold and express lawful views. We recognise that it is not always straightforward to balance the rights of women with the rights of trans people, but we believe that the way forward is for all of us to talk to one another." So he managed that in 2 hours. Contrast that with the ill-judged defamatory pledges signed by those who think they're fit to lead the country, written by a Labour Party which has had years to get this right. Many of those who've supported me don't want a public life and dislike controversy. Some don't agree with all my views, and every single one of them has better things to do with their time. Compare their bravery and generosity with our so-called political leaders. I don't think it is brave for them to stand up for women's rights and democratic debate. It's in the job description. Like most of us here tonight, I've given up a huge amount of time to the Labour Party in recent years. I didn't hope for much, well, if I'm honest, just a transformation of Britain into some sort of socialist utopia. But short of that, a tiny bit of solidarity would have been nice. Yet the Socialist Educational Association has gone in the space of 2 years from inviting me to be president to now no platforming me. We've seen Labour leadership candidates sign these ridiculous pledges, and frankly, simply not signing and staying silent is not good enough. I'm told senior Labour politicians are scared of being branded transphobic, so can't speak for me, or they tell me that they just don't understand the issues. How often have we heard that within the women's campaign, that it's our job to educate men on our issues? Women's Place UK, among others, has done a great job at communicating what those issues are. Our political leaders' cowardice and abdication of responsibility is obliging countless women and some good men to defend our rights, rights we thought we'd won decades ago. Labour's abandonment of feminism and free speech has created a vacuum that the right are busy filling. Yet when the Labour Party has bothered to listen to women, and let's be honest, we all know it's got a long history of failing to do so, the results have been transformative. We've already heard about some of the history here. Labour was the first party to support women's suffrage. Labour women helped to establish the first maternity clinics. Over the past century, our unions have grown most rapidly when women workers have been able to organise and advocate for themselves. Our movement has been strongest when black women have played an active role. Look at Gunwick, look at Grunwick, look at Southall Black Sisters. Together, we have destroyed the lie. We have destroyed the lie that women are too ignorant to be political and too absorbed by marriage and motherhood to be militant. Don't tell us that feminism is an outdated movement for white middle-class women. We are the ones who've shown that the personal is political. Given our history, the question for me is not whether Labour will expel us. The left has never needed parliamentary parties nearly as much as left-wing parties have needed a movement. Tonight, we are here in our masses. More than 300 tickets were sold. Those of us at the Woman's Place UK and UCL Women's Liberation Conference a few weeks ago were among almost 1,000 feminists. And we all know countless other women who are scared to speak up publicly, but who support us. Our numbers are growing all the time. And so the question for Labour is, are you going to disappear down a rabbit hole of misogyny and cowardice? Or are you going to join a socialist and feminist movement that promotes democratic debate and knows that women's equality is fundamental to a civilised society? The choice is theirs, but they should know this. We are the left. We are the women's movement, and we are going forward with or without them. Yes. Thank you.